Today we're going to talk about you. We're going to first talk about why it is that you keep making excuses. We're going to talk about why it is that you have not faced the fact that in order to change, you've got to let something go. What you're letting go is the old you to become the new you. You got to understand that success, like many things, requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires day in and day out of you doing something to get to become something else. Every day when you go to college, most of you nieces and nephews, I'm going to talk to you real quick because you're in the car riding with your Uncle Phil. I'm going to tell you things that your parents won't tell you. I'm going to talk to you in a way that your aunts and uncles would talk to you when your parents ain't around. I am a parent. I am a landowner, entrepreneur. I'm a nurse. I'm doing a whole lot of things that need to be done, and they're not the pretty things that has to be done in life. I'm going to let you know the real things that your parents won't tell you because they're trying to protect you from the reality that you know you're going to have to face one day. When you go to college and you be like people want to become a doctor, the student that goes to med school at the beginning of their college career is not the same person that becomes a doctor later. When you graduate, you now have knowledge. You have shed away the ignorance that you had in not knowing medicine to become a person that is now proficient or at least knowledgeable in medicine. So I say in life, what happens is you have people who do not want to evolve. They think that because the degree is gotten or they obtained a degree, now the learning stops. No. What you've just entered in is now you are armed with a tool to go out there and fight into the adult world, where the game gets more serious. It's just like you leaving from high school, going to college, and going from college and going into the league, the NBA, the NFL, the professional. Well, now you're in the professional part of being an adult. This is where there are no guesses. You can't go back to childhood. And people act like a child, get childlike results. You're going to have to face the reality that you have to step your game up, that it is now all on you, whether you're a man or a woman, a young man or a young woman. And the thing they're not going to tell you, the thing they're not going to say to you, the thing that I'm going to tell you as your uncle, because I'm going to tell you the truth, is that no one gives a damn if you make it or not. They don't care. Yeah, your parents will say they care, but they're not going to care in the sense that they're going to help you when you fail. Your parents are not going to treat you like a child forever in your life. Now, they may treat you like a child because they don't think of you as an adult, but that is not a reward, it's a curse. For young men out there, my young nephews, your journey into manhood starts the day that you graduate and now you're out into the world of man. A lot of you may not understand this, but some of you may feel it because you have the desire to get out there, want to get married, have a family, but you're scared. You're scared of all the things that are out there, the divorces, the women not being faithful, having children and having them taken away. Well, what you need is a plan. For my young nieces out there, the girls out there that don't think men are worth anything and they can't rely on a man because they got to do battle all on their own. What you are is you have not found a man and you are not qualifying men for you. If you're great or you're a boss girl, you're a boss babe, you got to find a boss and you got to qualify them. You're not qualifying men. What you're looking for in men are the same things that you look for when you were in high school and college. Your needs as a woman will be much different than your needs as a girl. But you can't look for marriage under girl eyes. You got to shed those eyes and look at an adult. What you want in a man, not in a boy. You got to stop messing with boys and start looking at men. Most guys your age will not have the maturity that you are looking for to settle down. But you're looking for a guy that has a certain level of maturity and financial wherewithal that a guy your age does not have. I can't tell you what you should do, but I can tell you what you're up against. For young men, you're too worried about trying to impress her and keep her and make her happy instead of showing her that you have purpose and focus. You trying to please a woman to make her yours is not the same as you trying to show a woman that you have a way that she can follow, a way that she can lead, that what you're doing, she should go along with it so she can find success. So she can have those things that she's looking for, security. Whether that be a financial, physical, or emotional, or whatever security, she's still going to need all of them. What you're doing is trying to impress a girl with what you have instead of what you can achieve. And she'd be stupid to fall for that. You're looking for women to settle down with, but you have nothing to offer. You don't have resources, you don't have a 401k, you don't have any retirement savings, you don't have your investments. You are not where you need to be in order to say I qualify for a mate, for a woman to raise a family with. What you're trying to do is go into debt, and hopefully you can get the woman while building the debt and building the world around you. You won't take your time and go to achieve it. You won't take the time to build up financial reserves, to build up land, to build up owning. You want to go into debt and think that's going to be some way to get her and keep her because you now have a house. Yeah, you'll have a house, and guess what'll happen? You'll have kids. Then things will change. Then a demand comes. Then you start realizing that, hey, it's not the lovey-dovey anymore. Now I've got to really put in this work. Now we're in debt because I did not prepare for the future that I wanted. I wanted kids, I wanted a woman, I wanted marriage, but I didn't want anything that was required of me to get that. All I had was a job. I found a girl I'm in love with. We don't want to be in an apartment anymore, but we're not preparing for that life. I'm not building up any savings. I'm not building up any resources. What I'm doing is just getting to the point of having a down payment, and then I'm going to go back into debt. I'm going to get that mortgage and I'm going to settle in. I'm going to build my life around the marriage after I get the woman. I'm not going to prepare for it. And you might say, well, I don't have the woman. How am I supposed to prepare for it? What you want in life, when you want to go get a degree, you had to prepare for it by going through school. You had to show that you could put in the work to achieve that goal. Now, all of a sudden, it's supposed to change. The reason why people are getting divorced, the reason why people are not being married anymore, and why marriage doesn't make sense for all you people out there that still want to get married, the reason why they are failing is because, one, you have not prepared yourself for the marriage that you're asking for. You think it's supposed to come just because of love, and that is the worst decision, the stupidest thing you could ever think of. Men are in love, women are in business. A woman is looking at you biologically like women have always looked at men. What resources can you bring to me that is better than the next man out there? Whether that's good looks, whether that's height, whether that's a build, whether that's hair, whatever it is, you have to be able to have that and more, because what she wants today will not be the same that she desires tomorrow. What she wants from you now at 22 will not be the same things that she wants at 32. What she wants at 32 will not be the same things that she wants at 42. Her needs will change and evolve. Can you handle it? Do you have the stomach? Do you have the plan to understand that this woman is going to be with you for however long you want her to be with you? And you need to provide the resources as she grows through time. As she becomes a girl that becomes a young woman that learns how to become a mother. When she becomes a mother, she's going to want different things for now the family that she did not want or perceived that she wanted when she was single and alone, living the single life, being a boss babe. And if you don't have that ready or prepared for her, or you're on the path to go get it, brother, you headed for in trouble. Now again, you could be like the other hard-headed nephews that I have and don't listen and think, don't know what he's talking about. Well, as of July 1st, I'm 13 years into my marriage with my wife. 13 years of being with her. Has it been rough? Yes. Have there been times where we're going to make it? I thought so, yes. But the one thing that we endure is because it was a plan. Because what ended up happening was when you put your kids and everybody in a position where they can be successful, when you put us in a place where we have more to lose by separating than we are together, and you're with somebody that you and her have the same focus, and the same focus is the same outcome, and no matter what, that won't separate you. You got to be able to still work together when you're not in love, but you love each other. The family has to be bigger than the individual. You've got to want you and her have to want your family to be successful more than the individual is successful. You know, like in Game of Thrones and all those ones where it's like, you know, House Tyrell, House not Lancaster, House Lannister, you know, House Bolton. When the name of the family is more important than the individual, people will give themselves up for the cause. But when you have a person who identifies in the self, when it's I, when it's me, when it's my needs, my, the family is no longer a priority. The family has to be a priority. When you talk to your children, you got to talk to them about the good for the family. They represent the family. When you talk to your wife or your girl, she's got to understand that your union is not just something that you all are bonding together. It is something that means that we are one. You represent me, I represent you. What you look like, how people perceive you, represents us. It means that they will either open doors or close doors when you walk out the door. We will be given opportunities based upon your representation and the people's perception of our family structure, our family strength, and our family's power, our power dynamics. You've got, if you want a queen, you've got to put her in positions to operate like a queen. Your relationship has to be built on that way. But there is no queen who does not have a king. You got to start thinking about your life and what you want out of it, because too many people are pissing along the way thinking they're going to make something happen. And again, we don't learn from other people's failures. We see all these people out here doing it wrong, and we see the few people's doing it right, and we think that, hey, maybe they're the ones that are wrong and the people who are doing it wrong are right. How the hell does that make sense? You're telling me that if a doctor showed you a better way to perform surgery, or a guy who was an electrician showed you a better way to wire up wires, or a plumber taught you a better way to save money on, not needing plumber service, you're saying that that way is going to be wrong, and the way of doing it where it always breaks and it costs you money is going to be doing it right? For my nephews and nieces, why are you not learning how to budget financially? Why are you not understanding what's going on in the world and what's making a difference in your life? What affects you? I talk to people all today, nurses, by the way, and said, hey, with the big, beautiful bill, I don't like calling it that, but the bill that they're signing on July 4th, they're saying that overtime, there won't be any taxes on overtime. And they're still diverting back to the negative. They have an opportunity to make money and not be taxed on something that they do anyway. And the first thing they could do is default to the negative. I've got people that I come into work and I try to exude a positive attitude and they come in negative. I don't even want them around me. And you know what they do? They still stay around me because they want to gravitate towards the positive. I've got to do my level best to try not to be negative and not to involve and suck into their world. It takes a great strength and you have to be strong within yourself to be able to do that. That comes with time and practice, with maturity. But you've got to let yourself be mature by doing mature things. You can't look at maturity and say maturity is going to be something when I get to that age. You've got to grow into that degree of being mature. You ever see somebody who's like, they're old, but they act like a damn child? And you're like, man, I'm 20 and I'm old. I act more mature than this person that's 50. They act like they can't do anything in life. They're always the victim. Always it's somebody else. They've been practicing that game since they were young. They never grew up. And that now all of a sudden when they're 50, 60, no longer are the looks there. You see the personality. I'm telling you, nephews and nieces, listen to your Uncle Phil. When you grow up, my wife she's a good looking woman. I'm a good looking man, but I'm not as good looking as I was maybe in my 20s. You cannot beat youth. Okay. When it comes to looks, meaning that when you're young, you got all the things in your favor. But after a while, your personality, who you are needs to shine through. And if you don't work on that and you work on just the looks and that's what you invest in, when the looks fade, your investment's gone. You cannot sit here and think that looks are going to be the one thing that you're going to go off of because of that. What you've got to have is something more than just commonality. You have to have the same level. You got to have that you want to go in the same direction in life. You got to have the same desires for the outcomes you want in life. When you're with a woman and she's working towards retirement and you all are building towards that, 9 times out of 10, you will not divorce unless you violate some really strict lines or boundaries in there. But if you're working together for retirement to make sure you and her got it, or you and him got it, or her and her got it, whatever your persuasion is, I'm not going to judge your nieces and nephews, but you all are working towards a goal. Two people working towards a goal will disagree, but they still will see it through. You got to choose people based on qualities and characters, not traits that will fade, such as beauty and looks, or the fact that her eyes are blue, or the fact that, she does this or does that. You cannot select a mate for life based on their job title. You can't select a mate on life out of convenience or for the fact that you're afraid of being lonely or afraid of not having somebody. Believe me, it's worse when you don't have the right person than it is when you don't have somebody. I'm saying this because, one, the whole point of this is that you can't wait on other people to validate what you need to do in life. Hell, you can't even wait on me. You cannot continuously look at people failing in life and accept their failures for yours. You cannot continue to sit around and think that one day it'll get better because you're living on a hope and a prayer, but you're not putting any action into your life, any actionable steps. You're not doing anything to build towards you being a person that could be an asset and a benefit to someone else that's looking to you to lead. You know why women don't trust men to lead and don't believe in men being the leaders anymore? Is because you're not training yourself to be a leader. How can you be a leader just because you're the man if you haven't qualified yourself, if you haven't built leadership qualities? There are people you work with right now that they ain't shit in a leadership position. There are bad leaders. You got managers out there that you wouldn't follow into it. You wouldn't follow into a damn fire, and you wouldn't follow them to get fire extinguishers if there was a fire in the damn room. Why is that? Because they do not have the ability to lead. They're missing something. Well, again, the same way could be viewed to you if you do not build those qualities and those traits. How do you do it? I'm glad you asked. One thing you could do is keep listening to these videos. I got you. I got you covered. I'm going to show you how to lead. I'm going to show you when to follow. I'm going to show you how to build these skills up. We'll cover that in other videos. But right now, I need you to listen, nieces and nephews. I need you to listen to your uncle. I need you to get into a position to be able to understand this information I'm putting down. Because you can't just give it to you all in one shot. You won't even know what to do with it. Hell, this is a life journey for you. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you got about another 10, 15 years till you become that. But you need the information now. And it's built over time because you need things to be able to do. You need to understand before you can learn. You need to understand a language before you need to understand it before you learn what the language is. You had to understand what an A is, a B is, a C is, a D is. You had to understand what your alphabet is before you could learn it. You had to understand language, what you do with your parents, before you could read. You had to understand talk as a baby before you could even read a book. That's what I'm talking about. Instead, you got to understand, learn, then you master. And we're going to get into that. But first, I need you to understand what I'm telling you. And there's going to be more things you got to understand before you can learn. And we'll get to the learning process. But nieces and nephews, I got you. If you've been inspired by this video, I want you to like and share and comment below. And I found out a lot of y'all ain't subscribed to the channel. We need to change that. We need to change that big time. And you're going to get more information from your Uncle Phil in the days to come, in the videos to come. Now, I'm going to teach you about life skills. I'm going to teach you about owning land. I'm going to teach you about what you should do when you own land and ways to make money on it in the other videos that I have. Those greenhouse videos, those self-sufficient, those growing crops, those are things that are life skills that you will never be taught in school and you will never get a degree for, but will help you more than your degree will when times get rough. That's what this channel is for, and that's why I'm here. And your Uncle Phil's got you covered. Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Don't forget my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, is on Amazon. The link will be in the description below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. That's it, folks. You can go to Ancestry Lands to start owning property today with payments starting at $250 a month, no credit checks, and owning land has never been easier. It's time to build your land portfolio one property at a time. We help you to get dollars from dirt and build generational wealth
by owning small plots of affordable vacant land. Contact us to learn more. Oh, and speaking of dollars from dirt, I also wrote a book about investing in land for you readers out there. My book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, is on Amazon. The link is in the description section below. Inside, you'll learn simple, easy to read insights that will have you understanding why you should own land today. For more tips and tricks, subscribe for updates, comment below, and let us know what you enjoyed about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
And remember, like and subscribe.